I missed them, plus I missed out. And she got to see, you know, some of the things over there was the first time she got to see, and I wasn't there. So that I did, but you know what, I had to weigh the pros and the cons, and just the fact that we waited 15 years and now she does have sight, I'll swallow it.
At birth, they told us there's something wrong with her eyes. We brought her to all the eye doctors that we could.
She has started out with light and dark perception. Obviously, she was born with Septo Optic Dysplasia. She gets a growth hormone shot every day. Otherwise, she has no other medical conditions. Oh no, there was no treatment, nothing at all. Doctors thought that there would be some down the line in their lifetime, but she's 15 and didn't want to wait any longer.
Her first ophthalmologist said that in 15 to 20 years there might be something to help out Jenna over in the States, but it started hitting the 15-year mark and we're getting anxious to get her to some sites, so my wife went online to find research on stem cells and sight, and she found this place.
We were watching, just happened to be watching the news one night, and another couple that was here in Minnesota was raising funds for their child who was 5 that had the same eye condition that Jenna did. And they were on the news and they were raising the money to go over to China. So I researched it for about a year, and then I contacted Baker. I did my research quite well before I even would have considered it. I never wanted Jenna to be any kind of an experiment whatsoever, and I had to have a legitimate proof to me that this was going to be something that was going to help her. I had contacted them and filled out the information that they asked, and then it took maybe just a couple days for them to get back to me wanting a little bit more information. So I sent more information and got a confirmation that they thought that they could help her. And basically just took my time and didn't rush. Hours on the internet. Anything that popped into my head, I Googled it.
It was just like a regular hospital in the States. So I wasn't, can't say excited about the hospital, but you know, it's like a regular hospital.
Once they got there, they got settled in, and you know, the translators and the people who work for Baker and for the hospital were so great to them. And when I could hear it in Gary's voice that he was a lot easier, then things went okay. When Jenna was over there and we were Skyping, I could see visual changes in Jenna. I could see her eyes holding steadier just using the Skype that we were using, and she did some more surprises for me while I could see her on the computer screen. But then when she got home, the biggest things that we noticed is when she would walk, how fast her pace had picked up, what a straight line she could do instead of looking like a bumper ball. even with her cane. You know, she'd bounce off stuff and she walked straighter. Dressing. Oh, it would take 10, 15 minutes for her just to get dressed during the day. A shower would take 20, 25. And it just came back to where her getting dressed was 5 and 10. Even for a swimsuit to go swimming was 5 to 10 minutes, and she's done, flat, out the door. When she would eat before, she was kind of a messy eater, especially when it came to like tacos and subs. I mean, she would take a bite from anywhere. And now with the taco, she would just eat a normal taco like the rest of us, down the line, didn't spill her sub, did really good with soup. And just the things that she would comment on that I knew she couldn't see before, because she could only tell the difference between light and dark. That's the only perception she had. When she would eat, she would turn her head and stare at me. And I'd ask her, what are you staring at? And she goes, well, I can see your shoulder. She could never see my shoulder before. I was a blob, just a dark blob. We went to the mall and we were walking along with her, and all of a sudden she would say, I want to go in this store. And she would turn right into the store. She could never do that before because she didn't know that the entry was there. We are very excited for the changes that are yet to come too, but just the independent living part is huge. And for any parent who has a child that's blind, that's one of the biggest things is, can your child, you know, have the opportunity to live on their own, assisted if it has to be, but just the quality of life that you're giving them. And people who don't have visually impaired children or blind children don't know that. Every parent has to make the choice for their child, but there isn't anything more rewarding than the first time your child says, oh, I can see you, or oh gosh, that's what that looks like. So if you're seriously thinking about it and you seriously think it's something that you want to give your child, I recommend it 100%.